I haven't got a lot of time to put the tar paper on, roll roofing on. I have to head into Spokane to teach a class today, beginning of my fall quarter. This is the roof I put on yesterday. It's 3/4 inch tongue and groove plywood, and pretty hard to do by yourself. So always be sure you got some help to help you so you don't get hurt. And it looks pretty darn good. Only problem being, if I would have been building for myself, I could have afforded some 9-foot sheets of plywood to come overhang on the side here a little more. But since it's for myself, I was trying to keep the expense down, so I've only got 8-foot sheets. But the porch looks real nice. I'll be building a floor porch on out from the bottom of the doorway. Another thing I want you to watch closely in this film is, see, we felled those logs last winter. They've been drying here in the hot sun all summer. You won't see any checking at all, hardly. So falling them in the winter, de-notching them, getting them up, you don't have to worry about the time and taking time to cure them and everything. Let's go take a closer look. Right now I have about almost $500 in this cabin. It took me, I worked a month on it last winter, fall or spring, and then one day now. So, system for the porch. Looks a little open bare there, but you always need plenty of storage room in the winter. Still have to put the door in. I'll come back this weekend and finish that up. Looks like it belongs out here in the woods. And this one corner of the porch over here did droop down a bit because of the way the top wall log had kind of bowed inward. But it don't look bad. I'll be putting tarps over today. I'll have to come back and put tar paper on it this coming weekend. I'll take a look at these logs. I don't see any checking on there at all. So a lot of those myths and things that people talk to you about, we found ways that we can build without the long period of time it takes to cure logs. They're cured now. Little workbench area in back. Can't see too well in there. Yeah, there we go. This was mostly just scrap wood that was around here close within this site. Wasn't nothing that came from more than about 50 feet away. Made it easy to work, easy to get the logs to the building site. Still got a couple windows put in. It's pretty dark inside. We won't be able to see much in there today. So, but you've already seen the inside. The logs, I still got some ends to trim and so forth, but it's all pickup work. There's nothing to it. Consider here, it took less than $500 to build this. Probably take more as we go along, but this is the enclosed. They almost ready to live in it except for the door and 2 windows. $500, by a month of time, and that's about it. So that's the primary consideration right here, right now. Keep that in mind. And get fancy when you get older and get better at building. For right now, you need something to live in, or a little trapper cabin, storage cabin, or whatever. Nice, easy, simple thing to do. Little work. See you in class. Okay, what I'm doing is building a small storage shed. Where in there is going to be the big log hole I'm going to do this summer. That's the area where it's going to be where the 2 trees are down over there. Real nice area in there. But for now, I need a storage shed for all my equipment. So what I'm going to do is pick this little giant cedar here. I'm going to use cedar base logs, so I don't have to worry about them rotting. I'll preserve them also. I'm going to slice this in half. Cut it, take a 10-foot or a 16-foot chunk out of it and slice it in half. I'll set up the sequence on the beginning of the sequence for the half logs on the little storage shed. The storage shed is going to be 12 by 16. A lot of logs with a V-notch, but just concrete blocks for foundation. Let's go do that. Okay, yesterday I sawed the cedar half log in half. And I leveled it. I leveled the blocks here, there, there, and there. I leveled all the blocks. Put the half log on top with the half log with the big end that way on this end, the small end over here, and then the big end this way to the left down here, the small end to the right. Now, I picked 2 other cedars that were the proper diameter. Since this half log was sawn in half, this was 5.5 inches. I wanted at least an 8-inch log so that I would have about 3 inches of meat right here, notched over. And down here at this end here, I've got more than that. So what I've done is placed the big end with a small end here, and the big end over the small end of the half log down there. Then I took diagonals, measured across like this to get it squared. Place these 2 half logs 16 feet apart, then place these logs 12 feet apart, actually 11'6", so I would have a little slot for all my 2x12s coming this way. I could just drop them in the slots all the way down the floor. That's the way I'm going to set them up. And then, once I had these positioned properly and squared, then I scribed them and notched them down over the half logs. And then re-squared them. We'll see that. Let's get up and get a better look. As you can see, by looking down on it, you'll see the big end of this full-size log over the small end here. And the big end of this log over down here. The small end over here. The small end will be over the big end of the half log. The big end of the half log here will be over the small end here. Then like I said, all the 2x12s, 2x6s will be slotted into those outer logs every 16 inches apart. And that'll give us our floor support. 2 nails. And right there. And one on further down. Now snap chalk a line down that so that I can have a good straight line here for my slots. And I'll also level a line in for levelness and height so that they're all up and down this way properly. It's the first notching I've done in a year, so notches are a little sloppy, but the nails over here the same way. See that nail right there? And on the other end I placed a nail down there. And what we'll do is give us a straight snap chalk line there. So that we can place our 2x6 joists across like this every 16 inches. What I've also done these nails in line like this. So this nail here is in line with that one down there. Then I can take my diagonals from corner to corner. There's a nail over there. Now, what you want to do for diagonals so that your foundation is square, so that everything's in square, you measure from this nail over to that nail, and from that nail over there to the nail on its opposite corner. That will, then you get the same readings here and here. You'll know that your foundation is square. Now, once you know that this foundation is square all the way around, corner to corner, this way and this way, then we mark a little bit on the log here so that we know where those logs go. We'll roll them up, wood knife them, and then roll them back down. Line them with the marks and spike them in place. And they'll be solid there for good. And we'll put a little more blocking under here later. Blocking under there, blocking under here, blocking under here and here to give it a little more strength so it doesn't bow or sag or anything. And we'll run a beam underneath the 2x12s too. 2x6s, the full length. This is 12 feet across here, 16 feet down here. So it's 12 by 16. Okay, let's go do the rest of it. Here you'll see, I want to look and see if you're pretty level. We've already leveled it with a level, but you can look here and see if we're anywhere as close, just be absolutely sure. And then we'll be using our log sequencing to get it more level as we go up. And while I'm sitting here building on a log home, there's a couple deer standing right here, close to where I'm building. About 50 feet away, there's another little one right in there. Two little ones eating the moss off the trees. They're still a little skinny from winter feeding, but they're looking awful nice. There's another one right behind him. The floor is going to be right underneath that. Alright, come up above that to the next log up, so I didn't have to V-notch that lower log. Should have for practice, but I didn't. Next two logs up. A nice cedar for that side and a nice tamarack for the front. Okay, I picked two logs, 19 feet long, to a 16-foot wall, there and there. I took the larger log, this one here, placed it with the large end over the smaller end of the log beneath it. When I get it notched down, this log will be level. The reason I put the larger log here is because there's more meat to notch over right there. The larger of the two logs. That log was a smaller one, this is a larger one over here. So I took the larger one and put it here because there's more meat to notch over right there than there is right over there. So, once I've got the logs placed over the log below, and there's a nice even gap, it's a tapered gap along here, and I have it pretty well in position where I want it. Reasonably straight over the top of the log beneath it. Same with that log over there. With all the bow to the inside and outside this way. The straighter edges are top and bottom. That makes it easier to V-notch down over the log below. Now first off, we're going to notch this log, scribe it there and there. Same with this and at that end and this end. We're going to scribe it to the depth dimension. There's a distance between that log and that log right there. Then we'll scribe on across, scribe it across, scribe, scribe. Then we'll notch down in till this log sits down on the log below. And we'll V-notch it. So let's go ahead and watch the scribing. What are you doing, Jelly? Huh? What are you doing? Meow? Hey, kitty. You like it out here in the woods, don't you? There's a little bit of modern there, sitting with the early American cabin. Our forefathers just had little places like this, and they had real big barns for their hay and their cattle, but usually kept their house small so it'd be easier to keep warm. We're doing this just for a storage shed and to get back in practice. All we do here is set the scribe to the dimension between the two logs. Here, not here. Take the smallest reading, set our scribe to the smallest reading, holding the level perpendicular, level this way, so this center point is here. And it's not laid over like this, straight up and down. And just bring our scribe, start making a line on the log above it, straight on up over. Underneath on the other side, right on up over again. And we have a nice scribe. Go to the outside, do the same thing on the other side. Same reading. Over here, back and forth, and on up over. Once you make sure that you've got a scribe line on here, then you go across to the other side, make the same scribe line, holding this scribe level like this. You gotta keep it straight up and down. You got levels on them too. Go to the other end, reset your scribe, then after you reset your scribe, scribe the other end. Go to the other log, do the same thing. Once you've got it scribed, roll it up, and we'll notch it down. See, you've got the log rolled up and scribed. Then you fill it in a little heavier with the pencil to make the lines real visible. Just like that one. It's going to look oddball to you. But don't worry about that. Just cut down to them lines with your chainsaw. You'll watch me do that. I've done that to all corners. Okay, let's watch me saw that. Now I'll step over to this side and clean up the other side. Do that to all 4 notches, all 4 corners, and then see how they fit down? Do the V-notch. Inside of the notch, right down the middle there, I scooped it out deeper so that it would accommodate any knots that were on the log or bumps below. But anyway, that's a quick fast notch. That was only a couple of minutes. And we'll do the same thing to that end, and the other corner here. Done. The other 2, and we'll have this course done. Five minutes later, well, maybe 10 minutes, and she's fitting tight there. A little gap along there, not very much, and sitting down there. Okay, over here on the front, got a little sloppy notch there, but we're going to be notching again for the V-notch, so it don't matter. See, we're sitting close to the log below. That's what we want. We want to sit close to the log below without really bumping it. And then we'll set our scribe to 1 inch, and we'll scribe the full length of this log. Right up across this, across this notch area too. We're going to scribe it, set our 1 inch, and let the scribe center itself between the 2 logs with the pencil on the top log. Pencil will be scribing a mark on the top of the log. And I'll be taking all the inconsistencies of both logs and putting it in that line. We'll leave a pencil line all along the top log. We'll do this to both sides of the log with the same setting. Right on up over the notch area too. Because we want to take the whole log down approximately 1 inch. It'll give us a nice V'd over notch. Okay, you want to make sure your log is sitting properly where you're going to finally want it. You want it placed evenly over the log below it. Because when you cut the V-notch is going to set it right in the back in that exact spot. So you want it to be right where it's supposed to be when you're done. We'll set our scribe at 1.5 inches. Get 1.5 inches here. And we'll scribe the full length of the log on both sides. We'll start right on one end, right up over the V-notch, or right up over the saddle notch, and right on down the log. Let the scribe follow the center in between here, just like this. Make a mark. At the end. Using your proper scribing method. One up, one across. Scribe right across there, 1.5 inches. Then take the scribe, move right on down the log. You don't need to just go slow. Make sure you get a mark. Make sure it's leading a mark. You can lead a little bit with it, like this. Bump your ears, you want to slow down a bit. Right now you just want to make a mark. Go down this side of the log, down the other side. That's all there is to it. We'll look at it after we've got the scribe. After we get it scribed. The V-notch makes a tighter fit. The bigger logs I use a 2-inch setting. But for these small logs all we need is a little wide gap, about 2 inches wide. So 1.5 inches V-notch will give us that. Okay, here you can see the scribe marks. Now we roll it up and see scribe marks all along there. Now what we'll do is get end on here. And look at it. Now I put a little V in here, right here, so I can kind of get a general idea of what my 90-degree V is going to be like. But just follow the scribe lines all the way down. You just follow that with your chainsaw. To know your chainsaw, you're going about a 1/2 inch. And then follow that scribe line. See that scribe line goes all the way down. Then we'll take out the scrap. We'll stay to the inside to the scrap part with our chainsaw bar. Anyway, we'll get to see how I saw that.